growing up in Bombay, which is important metropolis in India, there was absolutely nothing to see. And my whole exposure came when I was living in the States, and I had to go to MoMA as part of a college course. And that's completely blew my mind as to what the possibilities were with visual arts.
Good thing is happening, but done by the very individual, like an artist, like a creator, and like a gallery, but not done by something by the government.
And to my mind, it's still very young. We've only seen an edition or two of the fairs you mentioned of the IDF and the ID, the Record ID.
In the United States, you always see school tours. It could be a museum of antiquities, it could be a contemporary art museum, but from a very early age, that sort of knowledge and understanding of art is sought to be inculcated. So then even if you go into government, even if you go into the corporate world, there's already an inbuilt sense of the importance of art in you.
I think the kind of conversations at the moment have still been all the stars that come in from the West and kind of showcase their work. And I had the opportunity of engaging with some of them, and it's unfortunately a lot of the conversation is about they're running out of markets there. How can we come and make India a market? True, it's a social phenomenon, it's not a design phenomenon. So it's like when a Fendi comes in or an Armani comes in, it's not about design, it's about Fendi and Armani. I believe that design, architecture, art, any cultural kind of outward thing is a manifestation of social condition. So right now, we have this new wealth. We are a growing economy. Even if it's not fantastic, it is a growing economy. So people need to show that we've arrived. This is a great way to show we've arrived.
I will not condemn the value of the Western art world because they're history for us, and we are product of that history. Still, if you're a student of the contemporary artist, they do talk about Van Gogh, they do talk about Picasso, they do talk about the only Western art basically.
Most Indian collectors have no clue about what's going around globally in the art world. But when it comes to collecting art, most people are exposed only towards the only names that they really seem to know are Indian names. So that's something that's changing, but it's still very, very early days right now.
And I would have expected the Indian art community to be a little more interested in engaging with them. And I'm sure that back in the 70s that would have happened. And so to an extent, there's a kind of insularity, strangely, that has developed.
Once we are proud of who we are, then we don't need to prove anything. We don't need to prove anything like Subodh does. He doesn't need to prove whether it's Indian or it's global or it's what is it. It's an expression of who he is.
Here we haven't merged together. Design, architecture, photography, film. Only 6 years ago I remember Ramkula participating as in Venice Biennale, as an artist pavilion.
Having said that, I think that there are also margins are always, all these are human created definitions. And so there's always blurring at the boundaries. But that doesn't mean that categories are completely irrelevant. Photography is completely visual art.
Totally merged, yeah.
And if you see exhibitions of photography, like curated international exhibitions, they will often have people from the visual. If you go back to 1980 and draw a graph, then in the long term you see that 2009 even was so much better.
Indian contemporary art knowledge for the general public or general people not come through from an art, it's come through from the price. And that is the saddest part, we have it.
To add to that money thing, which I wanted to start with, which is that Chester Hurwitz, who had the greatest collection of modern Indian art, offered it to a number of Indian institutions. Nobody took it.
The public space is something that we do not have. And I think that is going to be the make and break of the way our society goes. Is this idea of creating more and more democratic public spaces, which can be enjoyed by all. That's really the future, that's really, if we have a vision, if we are to have a vision, more than any other country, India needs to really kind of put that out there, create something that doesn't belong to an individual but is there for everyone.
But it'll be more about curation and like, you know, what are the things, because there'll be so much of choice for people to look at and see. Like, you know, there'll be like a million things, and what does someone decide? So like, you know, like the future I think is going to be about what actually gets you know, out there in terms of being selected.